What's up, fam? Preston McCullough Jr. here. Welcome back to the channel. So today I am driving through a neighborhood in Dallas, Texas called Wynwood Village. This here is actually the place that I grew up in, right? Well, I would say from about 9th grade, which was high school, all the way up until I graduated high school. So today's topic is gentrification. I wanted to have a conversation about gentrification because all throughout my life, I've heard gentrification in a negative way, which today's video isn't necessarily to try to paint gentrification in a positive way, but the point of this video today is to actually present both sides. Now, right here is where we used to slap box, where we used to fight, where we used to smoke trees and get in trouble, jump through these little bushes over here to the right, climb down to the creek and get into all sorts of trouble. Over here to my left is actually where my building was. And unfortunately, it's also the place where I saw one of my homeboys be murdered. But anyway, fam, the point of this little drive-through right here is to just depict kind of the neighborhood that I grew up in. Again, fam, I've been a lifetime renter all throughout my childhood. And financial education wasn't just something that was taught in my house, right? So I kind of wanted to use this to kind of relate to some of the people who may be watching this video. And then right about now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to zoom all the way to a neighborhood right behind these apartment complexes that I grew up in that I never knew existed, right? And I'm not sure if anybody else who I grew up with ever knew it existed at the time, right? Now, this particular neighborhood within a neighborhood is called Wynwood North. Now, these people in this neighborhood actually own their homes, and you can tell by how much work and how much effort they put into keeping their properties clean, keeping the streets clean. None of the properties are dilapidated or out of date in any shape, form, or fashion. These people actually have a stake in the neighborhood, right? These people put time and effort into keeping their community clean. Again, we got people over here walking dogs, right? Like, that's always a sign that you pretty much going through a neighborhood that's either up and coming or a neighborhood that's already there. You'll also notice for sale signs with another attachment that says sold, right? So the homes in this neighborhood are definitely still selling. And it's an older neighborhood, a well-established neighborhood. And again, this neighborhood had been here this entire time, and I never knew it. Alright, so right up ahead, you'll notice this new retirement complex. I say new because I grew up here. These were probably built about 7 to 8 years ago or so. Now, if we were paying attention, this was actually one of the first steps that they took into gentrifying this area. Now listen, this whole entire left side used to be simply an extension of the apartment complex that I drove you through at the beginning of this video, the side that I grew up on. This whole thing was just a huge, massive apartment complex. They started off with St. Malo. They tore that down. This here that we're seeing right here to the left used to be a street called Pratt. The only one that's still standing is Argentina. Now, the moral of the story is that they'll usually start off slow, and then before you know it, they'll just ramp it up with just rapid development. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, man, you from around here?
Yeah.
I'm doing a YouTube video. You mind if I ask you a couple questions? Like 30 seconds, bro?
Sure.
All right. So basically, I was just wanting to know, like, how long you been here in Oak Cliff? Are you from here?
My whole life.
Is it, like, what's different about it? You notice anything different? Because me, driving around, because I'm from here, I grew up in Wynwood, right across the way. Yeah. Bro, everything changing. I started noticing ever since that LA Fitness came in. Target, they put a Target right here?
See that fences? That's gonna be Target right there.
Oh, they finna put a Target right here. Yeah, man. So I'm just noticing how it's like certain spots, like Redbird Mall. They hitting Redbird Mall up, and then over here,
Chick-fil-A over there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to make it look more like uppity.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
A bad thing.
You think it's a bad thing? Okay.
So all you think about everybody who lived there for over 30 plus years.
Right.
Obviously, y'all gonna change now. Everybody who made, like, you know, some people got checks, you know,
right.
$100 checks and shit. Then now they gotta, like, their cousin, mama, auntie gotta stay with them, you know what I'm saying, to make that rent.
Right. So you feel like
the rent now, the rent like $1,600, $1,800. That's just rent though. It's not with electric, water, gas.
So you think they getting like almost displaced? Yeah.
Us middle class.
Right.
Getting put out. And then all these bougie people come in now.
Right. So what you think, in your opinion, like how you think that could change? Like what would people have to do in order to stop something like this from happening? If you wanted it to stop. Because you got
community meeting.
Right. See, the way I look at it, bro, it's two different perspectives, right? It's people that I knew that grew up over here their whole life, but they own the homes over here. So all this new development and everything like that that's coming in, they actually benefiting from all of this new build and all of this stuff coming in. So I mean, I understand both perspectives because I grew up right here in Wynwood. We ain't own nothing.
Apartments right here?
Yeah, right there. Before they took, I stayed on Argentina.
Okay.
This was Pratt. Yeah. That was Argentina, and then St. Malo, they already turned that down.
Yep.
But it's like, so I grew up over here. But what do you think that people can do differently though?
Like I said, you know, do some more communication, like, you know, little group communication.
Right.
Or like, you know, like the protests.
Right.
Like something, you know.
You think protests will do it?
Yeah. I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Me personally, I think it all start with education though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like we can protest, but then protest for what? Because then the way I look at it, bro, we will be protesting people who own a property.
But we should protest and like do like not these apartments, right? Say for example these apartments.
Right.
We know they're gonna be $1,600, $1,800.
Right.
Why not make it for middle class people like us? You know what I'm saying? Those who can't
a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So what you think like a good rent should be?
A good rent, I'm gonna say about
like what range?
To 1,000.
About 700 to 1,000. Okay.
Yeah, 700 to 1,000.
All right, man.
Some people checks be like $975, you know.
Every week, every 2 weeks. Or?
No, they're like you know how people get the SSI.
Right. So that's like a month.
Yeah, they get a month.
Yeah.
And every year it goes up.
Right.
Goes up every year.
Right.
Yeah, man. Just.
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Like I don't want to take up too much of your time. That's all I really want. You know, so I appreciate you chopping it up with me, bro, because everybody not willing to do that. And it was hard for me to even want to stop you because I'm like, dang, I know he busy. He probably got to get right back on the clock. But just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep working, man, and like really try to figure out how to get into ownership, bro. Because that way, when stuff go up, when appreciation go up, you get the benefit from it instead of walking away with nothing when you go like. Because all they got to do is raise the rents and then can't nobody afford to be there no more.
True.
But if you own something, even if it's small, when everything go up, you get the benefit from that too. You know what I'm saying? But on YouTube, it's Preston McCullough. I just got back on it, bro. This is gonna be a different video for me. But
good thing, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro. All right, take it easy.
Bless him, man.
All right, you too, bro. All right, now, so what I'm getting ready to do now is turn into this shopping center, which is located directly in front of that Kroger's where Bobby just gave me that interview at, right? So the whole purpose of me driving through this shopping center is to kind of give you guys an example of what the shopping center looks like now if you are already familiar with this area. Now, if you're not familiar with this area, what I'll do is I'll pull up a plan that I found online from, I believe it was winwood.com, but I'm not exactly sure the URL. But it's pretty much a website where they highlight all of the development that they plan on doing. again, we drove through the neighborhood where you had all of those residential homes. And listen, fam, I only took you through a small portion of that really nice neighborhood. Only a small portion, only a few streets, because I didn't want to make the video too long. But this shopping center is prime for gentrification for the simple fact that you have a high income neighborhood directly behind it, right? And then where I grew up at was actually a very low income apartment complex full of renters. So in order to gentrify this area, all you would have to do is figure out how to get more high income people into the neighborhood, right? And it's easy to do when the renters that live in this area aren't really keeping up with the area, when the crime rates are high and stuff like that, right? If you can't keep the crime rates lower in the neighborhood that you live in, and if people are constantly throwing trash out in the street and constantly just bringing the value of the whole community down, it's easier to justify getting rid of those types of homes, those types of affordable homes in the neighborhood, because all they would have to do is just say, you know, we're cleaning up the neighborhood, or we're bringing value back into the neighborhood. Like, there's plenty of ways that they can word it, which means gentrification, right? Now, again, yes, value is being added to this area. And at the same time, yes, some people are being displaced. But at the end of the day, you can't really call shots if you are not the one who owns the neighborhood, right? The renters are being displaced. A lot of the people who are already displaced, which is about 75% of the apartment complex, right? It's only about 25% of it that's still there. But all of those people that were displaced, yeah, they were angry. Yeah, they were upset. But at the end of the day, the people who are happy and the people who are benefiting from the fact that this area is being gentrified are the people who actually own the homes around this shopping center, the people who actually own the homes around this neighborhood. These very same people whose home values were somewhat suppressed because they were located right next to a complex full of renters who didn't necessarily take the neighborhood into consideration and try to keep it clean and keeping the crime rates down and everything like that.
If you think about what a cancer does, it ravages a neighborhood, consumes it, and then moves on to the next neighborhood. And I refer to socioeconomic gentrification.
Deteriorated neighborhoods, a controversial process happening in urban areas across the country as families who've been in those neighborhoods for years feel pushed out.